And I think that that's really important, that it's not always like women for women, it's everyone for everyone, you know. For me, it's most important to take the time to make sure it's the best it can possibly be, because it doesn't matter. I mean, I acknowledge I have a massive unfair advantage by, you know, having the entertainment industry, this microphone or this boost that I get to, you know, sort of help promote my businesses with. But if the product isn't great, I can only sell one bottle.
Hi, besties. It's Katie from Without a Crystal Ball. Welcome back to my channel. Well, Blake Lively is getting ready for a deposition this week and expressed security issues to the court. The hypocrisy of the security issues is not lost on the 16 of us that have been subpoenaed by her law firm and seeking our bank account records. I would say that's a pretty big security issue when a powerful Hollywood B-list, D-list actress and her husband are wanting your bank records, an IP address, and your login information, and your emails, and your passwords. Yeah, I mean, not passwords, but everything else but, so she could basically hack into our YouTube accounts. I'm just saying that's how it feels to me. And trying to destroy our businesses. But I have an update for you. There's a hearing here coming up in about, I don't know, today. It'll be today. By the time I upload this, it might be going on. And they're going to talk about a scheduling order. But Blake wants until the 30th of September, until the close of discovery, to subpoena as many people as she wants to prove her conspiracy of an ongoing smear campaign. Well, last week there was a ton of confusion about the subpoena, with a lot of creators feeling like, is it real? Is it not real? And then Ezra's office, Manat, Phelps, and Phillips in Los Angeles, was giving mixed signals to different creators. And then it did not help that Google wasn't giving us any idea about why they would even be responding to the subpoena, other than Google saying to us, we may give them your information on the 31st of July if you don't intervene first. Well, I've got some tea for you, because we've made contact with Ezra. Multiple creators and I have been working on this behind the scenes to get this all sorted out, because frankly, what she's doing to these small creators is trying to squelch and chill our speech. It's no different than how she has been attempting to chill the speech of Baldoni, of Abel, of Jennifer Abel, of Melissa Nathan, of Jed Wallace, and really just going after anyone that she can, even journalists like at the Daily Mail and at Page Six. Now, interestingly, Daily Mail finally picked up the story that she's targeting us. Josh Boswell, the Daily Mail journalist that broke the Van Zandt subpoena after I broke it. Yeah. He interviewed several creators, and I was included in there. And I was not interviewed, by the way, but several creators, including Andy, Lauren, and others, shared their feedback with Josh about their feelings about this subpoena. So, what I can tell you is the following. Blake Lively's attorneys have told us different things depending on which creator's attorney she has been speaking to. Okay. But one of the creator's attorneys had a chance to speak to them, and they were told that Blake believes that we are all part of a smear campaign and being paid by Justin Baldoni to make videos about her. Blake believes that our only reason for criticizing her is because we are being paid to do so by Justin Baldoni. And Blake believes that she is entitled to our bank accounts, our IP addresses, our home addresses, and our phone numbers, because she believes that we are being paid by Baldoni and part of the ongoing smear campaign, which is what we assumed. Now, we aren't. I think that goes without saying. What they're being less clear about and more divisive about is, or why they're feeling entitled to going for our bank accounts and all of that. So another lawyer And I don't want to identify who and what because I don't want to get anyone in trouble here. But another lawyer made contact with Manat and they were told that they s- we need to comply with the subpoena by tomorrow. That's what they said. Blake's attorneys said, as far as they were concerned, the deadline that Google gave us by responding to Google by July 31st is not relevant, and we are not allowed to abide by that because we have to go by the subpoena. The problem is that Google, the one who is being subpoenaed, is giving us until July 31st to respond until they make a decision about what they're going to do, apparently. So Manat's trying to get around that and say, no, 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 you have to respond by the 16th or else and give us everything that we want. Hmm. Manat also responded separately to a creator's question, and they refused to sign the name of any attorney. They simply told the person that a subpoena was issued to Google. They denied it had anything to do with our bank accounts. And it said instead they were trying to say that they're going for information on the accounts and subscriber information, and that if we have any issues, we need to talk to Google and not to them. So, depending on who reaches out to them, is how they're managing this. So, if a creator goes to Manat and says, I want to know what you want, they're giving them the runaround and basically saying, you need to talk to Google, knowing full well that Google is not telling us what they're after. And Google won't even tell us if they've been in communication yet with Manat. Seriously, like Google will not tell us what their plan is, what their if they even have objections, what their communications have been, because emails that are directed to Google by either our attorneys or by us are getting canned responses. So I sent them an email and then their response to it was Google may produce information related to your Google account in response to the subpoena unless you email a stamped copy of the motion to quash by 10 a.m. on the 31st. It's the same thing that they sent to me in the same email when they notified me of the subpoena. They wouldn't answer questions like, can you tell me how my bank account and the YouTube account information is not protected under the Stored Communications Act? And I also said Google may produce. Is there someone that my attorney can speak to, which isn't a random response that is copy and pasted? This is my bank account that Google is going to hand over. Why on earth would you not fight the subpoena? Please make this make sense. So they're not responding to creators. They're also not responding to attorneys. So what they're doing to some creators, what Blake's team is doing is they're telling them, you need to go talk to Google. And they know that Google isn't talking to us. And Blake lawyers have also told us, apparently, that they have had no communication whatsoever with Google. So, as far as of today, there has been no contact between Google and Blake's team about the relevance of the subpoena, why they're seeking it. They've done nothing to question it, and they've not spoken to them at all about the deadline. And their Google, accordingly, is ignoring that the deadline is tomorrow and instead told us that the deadline is the 31st, to which Manat then told us, get this, that we have to respond by the 16th with production, even though we just found out about this on Thursday. So there's conflicting stories going on here. There's conflicting information. There's Manat's treating creators that are not represented not well, and they are being very evasive, which I think is just another sign to me that these people treat people who can't afford an attorney or who don't want to pay for an attorney as though they are less than, or they don't qualify, or they're not good enough to give the accurate information. And then at least two attorneys have spoken directly with Manat, and another attorney has a meeting with them tomorrow about this. And some of the issues that our attorneys have brought up specifically have to do with how all of this even makes sense to what her case is. So, even if she has a theory that we are somehow part of a smear campaign, her subpoena is so broad that it's wanting information about our pages from May 2024 until today, right? And then it wants our IP addresses. Now, one attorney noted that something really suspicious is going on here because they are not identifying to Google which videos they're seeking IP addresses for. They're also not telling Google which videos related to her she wants the IP address for. She wants the registration IP address and the IP upload address, but not designating what content. So they're not telling Google, okay, I need the IP address for this video. So she hasn't even gone through our content to identify if any of these videos are actually critical of her, what we're saying in them. They're not even going through the content to verify if it's bad for her or good for her. They're not watching the content to verify, like, oh, I want this because they said this. So, say I did a video about speaking to someone. They're not going to my video where I identify a source and I say, I spoke to a source and they want that video specifically. No, they just want it all, which is why it's overbroad and it's completely ridiculous. And one attorney noted that they're asking for information that they already have because they know that the videos were uploaded to Google. And when you use Google products and you post onto Google, the IP address is Google. Now we have upload addresses that access Google, or we have email addresses that access Google, and they want to know like how long we're accessing our Google accounts. Well, what does that have to do with Blake? Because there are things that we're doing as creators that have nothing to do with Blake. The subpoena has and lacks a lot of sense. Just now, during a hearing about the scheduling order, the judge was pretty hard on Blake's attorneys because her attorneys were seeking an end date for production of documents of September 30th. And he said that if that were the case, then you're just pushing it out too far. And then there's unlimited subpoenas. And at this point, he kind of made this point to say that she's subpoenaed a lot of people and they've been under this deadline the whole time. And so they pushed the deadline for production for subpoenas and documents to August 15th. And then if there are any stragglers left from those August 15th, their motion to compels are going to be due by August 22nd, with responses due by August 26th, meaning that we have a month to get this all sorted out, and meaning that he was pretty clear to her that any further subpoenas at this point would only be allowed by showing of good cause. So the fact that she continues to subpoena and subpoena and subpoena with no reason, just because she can, that's over. She has to show good cause. And Brian Friedman did not speak in this hearing. Kevin Fritz did. And he actually attempted to make a point to the court that the reason why she's seeking all of these extensions for third parties is because of this Google subpoena that she just submitted for content creators who are organically covering the story and speaking out and reporting. Nothing that Wayfair has anything to do with. So in this hearing, he tried to tell the judge, listen, she's trying to get information from these content creators that has no relevance to this case, and she wants an extension for that, and there's no relevance. And the judge literally cut him off. It was so frustrating. The judge was like, I don't care about the facts. I don't care about your disputes about the facts. I don't care about you calling it a so called smear campaign. We have times and a place to talk about that. So he let Kristen Bender go on and on and on and on about why she needs additional time. But then Baldoni's team wasn't allowed to answer basic questions. They agreed to the August 15th deadline, but they said that they did not want to allow this like September 30th because it would just continue to allow her to try to subpoena anyone for no reason. It was clear to me, at least a little bit, that the judge is like, yeah, your subpoenas are getting out of hand. You've had this amount of time this whole time. I'm not going to give you this massive extension that you want. You get until August 15th. They tried to stick up for us and say it was organic, and the judge didn't care. It's almost impossible for Wayfair to do anything because Blake's team is always going to the court and always demanding things, right? And anytime they try to argue back, the judge just puts them in their place and ignores them. The judge doesn't seem to comprehend. I mean, he takes this concept of an ongoing smear campaign seriously, so it makes me nervous that he's going to be like, "Yeah, Google, you need to hand over the bank records." Even though the subpoenas literally don't show why they're asking for the bank records. It's bananas. So, tomorrow, there is a meet and confer with Lively's attorneys and attorneys for content creators. And then several of the attorneys for the content creators are now going to be communicating and strategizing about how to manage this. And every single lawyer that's involved in the case for us has been clear that what they're seeking is it's like a dumpster fire. They just are throwing crap at a wall and trying to get it to stick, and they're still not really telling the court why they should be given the access to our bank accounts. And again, to make the point about the IP addresses is they want our IP addresses, but they've identified no content, no sourced content, ignoring the fact that many of us upload videos that have nothing to do with Blake every day, ignoring the fact that many of us had channels that had nothing to do with Blake prior to February of 2025. I think it's insane that a judge would allow her to entertain a theory that content creators speaking about a lawsuit is proof that we are paid bots for Baldoni. And it's hilarious that they have told lawyers point blank, we just know that you're part of the smear campaign and we want your information. So she thinks that anyone that criticizes her is part of a smear campaign. Now, do you understand what they've been dealing with? Wayfair has been for like 2 years or however long it's been. She is so delusional that she cannot accept that people willingly don't like her. Yesterday, I did a live on uh, TikTok. If you're not following me over there, it's Without a Crystal Ball. And I was talking to Ken's and to um, a creator that went to high school with Blake, and she also got a subpoena. And those two aren't even monetized, right? And Ken's story about why she started covering the story because she's a victim of domestic violence, it just, this proves that even after the criticism that she received for not seeing domestic violence, she's now continuing to not see the victims of domestic violence that continue to speak out. And instead, she's trying to accuse them of being part of a smear campaign, not even considering that when Ken said that she saw her response on the red carpet saying that this wasn't a film about domestic violence, she said it hurt her as a victim because she was like, wait a minute, you're saying that it's just this, what happened to me is just something that happened and I need to get over it. She felt dismissed and unseen. And now she's saying, now I feel unseen and attacked. So right now, my attorney is working with Shasty's attorney, Shasti Flaw. Our attorneys are working together. Between the two of our attorneys, the other creators, some of the smaller creators are going to be combining with us, whether they go with Shasty's or they go with mine. The invitation was open to them to share the overall costs. We're hoping to keep the costs down. And again, at this point, we have not made a choice about any sort of fundraising until we know what needs to be done. We know that we're going to meet and confer. We want to see if she can drop the stuff with Google. If she won't drop the stuff with Google, we will move to quash the subpoena. But everyone that we've talked to, and there's at least 10 now creators that we've made contact with, no one has been paid by Baldoni. And as Kevin Fritz tried to tell the judge, organic people speaking about us in court, in online. She's literally attacking freedom of speech. It's crazy. It's wild because considering their political platform and how they've been trying to make this like a conservative versus Democratic issue or liberal issue, one of their biggest issues on the Democratic platform side is the chilling of free speech, right? And Ezra Hudson did papers and presentations on the chilling of freedom of speech and the importance of freedom of speech online. And now, when it doesn't benefit them to have freedom of speech, now it's, well, it's okay. That speech is not what we want. And then what's even worse is a lot of these creators that Blake has had all these other outlets call out and say that they are conservative are not conservative at all. Many of these creators she's accusing of being part of the right are literally neutral and not even political at all, like me. It's crazy. It makes me feel like one of those conspiracy theorists now that's like, okay, there's always those people online that are like, the elite, no matter what party they're on, the left or the right, they're all corrupt. And I'm starting to feel that way. That's just where I'm at today. And I'm not, again, people say they hate that I talk about the political side of it, but Blake's team keeps making it political. So it's like impossible. And I can tell you wholeheartedly, I have nothing against conservatives or liberals. I'm just saying to us that are covering it, it has nothing to do with politics. So that's the inside tea. Blake's attorneys are being shady, they're mistreating people, and our attorneys are fighting back. So please make sure if you want to support the channels that are making content, make sure that you send them super thanks. If they go live, send them super chats. Here, because I don't go live, make sure to send us super thanks. And if we do start a fundraiser, I think Shasty's debating it. We'll let you know. So make sure to give this video a thumbs up. Make sure to subscribe to our channel, my channel, if you haven't subscribed, and click the bell so you never miss a video. Thanks so much for watching. Bye, besties.